Yo, it was annals. What's up, Wick? What's up, everybody? Good morning. It was annals, dude. You misheard. I didn't misspeak. You misheard, dude. What's up, guys? Good morning. We made it. We made it. It's Friday, dude. Dudes and dudesettes, it's Friday. We made it. We win. We win life. We win life. We made it to Friday, right? That's the way that works. Yo, Wick, your dad should only be a little over a day away, probably, from making it to your place with the riding lawnmower, right? Is that correct? I think so. Yeah. How's his trip going, dude? Yo, one second. What, dude? What? Oh, did you actually go grab it last night? Is that for reals? Oh, bro. What? Yo, that sounds terrible, dude. That sounds terrible. Yo, by the way, it's storming here again today, so if anything happens, the other day it stormed as well, man. Internet got knocked out. Then the stream got knocked out because power went down. So if we end up with issues, man, I'm sorry. Uh, I'll throw it out there on Discord, let you guys know, if anything happens. But fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Um, day nine, day nine, yeah, day nine of Witcher 3. There's a lot to do in this game, dude. There's a lot to do in this game. Feels pretty good. It's fun. The content's good. The content's good. There is the game actually feels pretty clunky in a lot of ways. Uh, but the content's really good. So I'm having fun playing it. We'll keep pushing. Google Weather says it's sunny. Google Weather must be lying to you, dude. High of 84. Yo, that's what it was for us like yesterday. I got a workout in. We went and hung out at the pool for a little bit. So it's still like 72 Fahrenheit, dude. It's going to get up to like 81, but we got rain like all day long, man. Rain and thunderstorms all day long. High of about 80. Rain and thunderstorms all day though. Not sunny for me, dude. Um you're going to be running on fumes today it sounds like, dude, which I don't know. You normally don't get as much sleep as I do, so I need lots of sleep. Um yeah, I don't know. Let's do what we do. Let's get into this news segment, video gaming news for July 15th, and then we'll work our way into our Witcher 3 gameplay for day 9, okay? Cool. You haven't had much rain? Is that what you're talking about? Dude, we've had a nice steady like on and off of it, I feel like, through this entire summer, dude. Spring and summer. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Uh thing was bigger than I thought. It didn't fit on the trailer. Dude, I thought you had like a lifted Prius that you had cut like a big altered bed out of the back. You could fit anything in the back of that thing. Just take some of those flags out of the back. Had to drop the deck off to make it fit. That sounds like a really fun time, dude. That sounds like a really fun time. You need it for your garden? You gonna be eating raw corn, dude? Let's fix this camera real quick. God. You didn't bring ramps? You didn't bring the ramps probably weren't tall enough, huh? The ramps weren't tall enough to fit in that big of a lifted Prius, right? I got you, dude. Yeah, I got you. You got that straight up Kona lifted Prius, dude. There's no ramps big enough to touch the bed of that lifted Prius. I got you, man. I got you. Xbox Game Pass adds attached flag. And now the tractor's gonna be lifted too, right? The lawnmower, yeah. Yo, are you really getting a garden going? Game Pass adds 5 new games today, including 2 day 1 releases. Dark Souls lore books look like a collector's dream. Destiny 2's Solstice armor sets feature a streamlined upgrade system. Cool. Already with some newsies. Why? See, we came across this the other day and we didn't read this, but I ended up thinking about this later on in the day too. And it's like, why are these extremely wealthy individuals? Why are they the ones that get gifted stuff like this? This doesn't make any sense. Somebody gifted Drake a $7,000 to $8,000 gaming PC. Why? One of the things I had already read was that he's not even using it to game with, besides browser based games, which you don't even need anything more than like probably a Chromebook for. Besides that, this individual can for sure afford whatever kind of gaming computer they could ever imagine. So why are they the ones being gifted this crap from somebody? But that's the way it works, and it's a really weird world. Like celebrities and people of notoriety are always the ones that are getting the breaks, right? Instead of the people that actually need the breaks. It's so weird, man. Tomato, zucchini, green pepper, jalapeno, cucumber. Cool, man. Nice. My dad always had a. I think he still does. Oh, I'm sure, but it still just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? For anybody that actually gives a crap about the way the world works, it just is ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, it's advertisement. It got somebody's name out there, and I don't know. Yeah, I get it. It's just more of that crap that rubs me the wrong way. You know how many, like, how many kids could have gotten computers for educational purposes? You know what I mean? Out of that $8,000 PC that was bought, like breaking that money down and spending it on like kids that actually need tech for educational purposes and in some kind of like country that you know needs help and stuff like that. It's stuff like that, dude, that it just drives me crazy about this world. I don't even know. I mean, a lot of people be like, well, doesn't make sense to get jaded about it because it won't ever change. And probably right, but that's probably the wrong mindset to have about it too. Because if everybody felt that way, then um, we are definitely destined for destruction. You know. Well, yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna gift him an OA shirt. I'm gonna send him an OA shirt. I gotta get those in the mail, by the way. I've been kind of busy. I haven't really gotten out into town here lately to be able to send those things off. Next time I get out into town, I'm gonna try to hit the post office and get those sent out. But yeah, I'm gonna send Drake an OA shirt and see if I can get it into the news segment. Talk about this. That's Dunsky's. Look at this. You know what? We might read into this. You be the judge. Should I let my boyfriend have 3 game consoles? Let's see what this individual has to say about this. Final Fantasy 16 ditched turn-based combat to appeal to younger generations. Feels bad for us boomers, I guess. Feels bad for us, you know, longtime fans of Final Fantasy. Yo, Cash, what's up, buddy? We read about this yesterday. Nintendo's bought Dynamo Pictures, and it's now going to be called Nintendo Pictures. We'll see what comes about with what they're going to be developing. We already know it has nothing to do with the the new Mario Brothers movie, which I'm still just like anytime I think about that movie, it just seems super cringy to me. I don't know. Uh, wait, God, dude. Oh man. I mean, I hope it's good, but I don't think it'll even hold a little bit of a flame to what the old school Mario movies were. You know what I mean? Old school Mario movies were sick. I'm not going to read into this. Hidden danger of online gaming revealed. Like this is a new thing. There are a lot of different dangers of online gaming. Online presence in and of itself has potential risks. Uh, that's just what being connected to the web is, man. You gotta be careful, protect yourself, and there are differences between different kinds of online communities and what you need to do to protect yourself. But it's always wild to me when it's like, oh, the 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 risks have been revealed. We know now. It's like, dude, they've been there forever. That's what we were just talking about a little bit ago, Cash. Yeah, yeah. I'm just done talking about NFT, blockchain, crypto economy crap, dude. It's just It seems just all of it just seems so scummy. I'm just so sick of talking about it. It's just not being incorporated in a way that could be beneficial to both the consumer and the developer. It's just not. This is also nothing new, man. This comes down to guardians and parents of children need to be having oversight and being very aware of what their kids are being exposed to online because grooming is absolutely a thing. Um, Another potential very, very harmful thing that can come of online communities, man. A lifted craftsman, yeah. Yeah, he's got all the flags that used to be in the back of the lifted Prius in it now. Yeah. John Deere is too expensive. It's like the Sony of lawnmowers. Hmm. We read about this. Uh, we read about this yesterday. Like, basically, Unity merging with Iron Source, they're catching a bunch of backlash because Iron Source is notorious for having a lot of malware content in their software, and so Unity is getting basically slammed right now because of it. So we'll see what comes of that. Bumper stickers. Oh no, dude! I can see it now, dude. I can see it now. Got a little side cart for your alligator wearing a red hat. Yeah. You need to move to Florida, dude. I heart Facebook. Aliens is finally getting a new single player action horror game. Let's go. New PlayStation rewards program can give you money, games, getting trophies. What? So they're actually putting like play to earn as part of the PlayStation rewards? Hold up, dude. Okay. Nintendo reassures fans more N64 games will be added. I'm guessing to Switch Online. Yeah. Uh, cool. Let's take a look. Pivot over real quick to our other search. See what else we can find here. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool, man. A super fan collected every Super Nintendo game manual, and I think has actually published all of them to where everybody can read them for free or something like that. Let's take a look at this. Latest bundle, 200 plus, $200 plus of Lego games for $10. Is this a humble bundle or itch? I no, it wouldn't be itch, but let's see what that is. There's no objective history of video games. Every player's experience is different. This is one of the things we try to hit on in this community a lot, you know, and every player's experience is different, and that's absolutely true. Just because a game is highly rated and a lot of people enjoy that game, and it doesn't necessarily mean that everybody will, right? So I had somebody come in while we were playing Witcher 3 yesterday and was like, "Do you recommend?" And I was like, "Well, I'm still kind of early game," and said, "There's some bugginess, there's some stuff that feels clunky, but overall the game's a lot of fun, and if you enjoy this kind of genre, you'll probably have a good time with it." But I can't say for a fact, right? Everybody's different. Everybody has their own objective and subjective. Everything's subjective for everybody. Everybody's got their own respective opinions on their experience when they play games and things like that. So it's hard to tell somebody. I can give them a roundabout view of how I think they might enjoy a game if they're into that kind of genre and stuff like that. What to experience of a game as far as what I've experienced from it, but it's hard to tell somebody like, yeah, you should definitely get it. You will love it. I'll never tell anybody like you're gonna enjoy it. There's no doubt in my mind you're gonna love it. I won't tell anybody that because there's always the chance that somebody's just not gonna like a game the same way I like a game, or somebody's gonna like a game potentially that I dislike. There's always that potential as well. So I think that giving people the best possible review that I can, according to what my experience has been with the game, is something that is actually my job right now from what I get out of my experience of playing games. So I can give people a real nice, comprehensive overview of what I have experienced during gameplay of certain games. So they have a better idea of what they might experience as well. Might. But everybody's different, man. So I don't know. It's a tough thing to get across to people, you know? Yeah, we already saw where Bandai Namco, it has been confirmed that they got hacked. They had a data breach, they got hacked, and a lot of their info has been taken. So this was roughly like 3 to 4 days ago. We're probably going to see some info coming out before too long regarding some of this info, leaked things. I would bet. So it just all kind of depends on what kind of data was taken, what it is in regards to things like that. This just goes back to one of the things I've been telling people all along, especially when it comes to you get all of these companies that are going hard on the NFTs and the blockchain. Oh, he leaked nudes. I probably will within the next week get my tattoo pics up. I just got to find a day to actually get the wife to snap some pics of me, dude, and I'll get them put up on Discord. So torso nudes, but I'm basically inked up, so it's you know. Um, but one of the things I was trying to get across to people is all these software developers. They keep coming out with these, you know, advertisements for their games and their economies and these universes that are creating built around their version of whatever the metaverse is, and it's all built on crypto and NFTs and blockchaining and Web3 and all that stuff. And it's like, it's secure. You don't have to worry. And people buy into that, right? But look, anything that has to do with an online tech based environment, a tech based, especially online environment, is that it's only going to be as secure as that company is maintaining it to be, right? And therefore, that's why we've constantly seen these companies like the Axie Infinity game get hacked for 600 million worth of their crypto economy, and it trashed the game because the entire game's built on that crypto economy. So while they're always going to promote themselves as being based like super safe and you don't have to worry or whatever, you know. Um, just I always try to get people to keep that in mind, you know. If you're planning on diving in, do your due diligence and look into these companies and see what their track record is of dealing with these kinds of economies and currencies, and who they might be in cahoots with as far as collaborating on building these kinds of um, you know economies up, and it are they known to be good at securing these kinds of online environments, or is this like a new endeavor for them, you know, because
Now
if
that
it
we're friends
is,
again, is it okay if I pet you?
1 month left, you dingus. What's up, dude?
10
Yo,
Win
Tinwin,
just
thanks, buddy.
resubscribed for 11 months. 1 month left. You dingus. 3.
Thanks, man. Yo, incredible, dude. 11 months. 11 months. Dude, we're almost coming up on our 1 year of getting our sub button. That's crazy, man. Time flies when you're having fun, man. So I don't know, but right now, I mean, my big thing is just trying to push people away from diving into anything that has to do with NFTs, blockchain, and crypto-based economies and games and stuff. But if you're set on doing it, do your research. Try to protect yourselves. That's all it comes down to. Timwin, thanks again, buddy. Incredible, man. Incredible. I appreciate you very much. Thanks so much. Uh, how parents are introducing kids to video games? Basically just through horror games, right? Nowadays, isn't that the play? We read about it yesterday. Just sit them down in front of a screen, put on as many horror games as you can. What's the new one that they're all watching and then going around the kindergarten playground hugging each other, telling them they're going to murder them by whispering to them or whatever? What's the name of that one? This is the world we live in. We've read about that. We know God of War Ragnarok is dropping in like the beginning of the second week of November. Well, I mean, I'm laughing, but I'm also being serious. Like we actually read a an article. What is the name of the horror game that came out where it's like a big blue kind of monster that's kind of cuddly looking, but then he like opens his mouth, and there's a ton of teeth, and there's like multiple mouths in there and stuff. God, what is the name of that game? Mickey Mouse Playhouse. Yeah, Mickey Mouse Playhouse. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Oh, good. Oh, I made it run there for a second. Oh, Huggy Wuggy. There you go, Tinwin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And by the way, if you've never seen the South Park episode about Disney, specifically with Mickey Mouse and the Jonas Brothers and their promise rings, it is flipping hilarious. Mickey Mouse is literally like just beating the crap out of the Jonas Brothers, and it is hilarious because they don't want to wear their promise rings anymore. Yeah, you know it. All of those, Wick. Yeah, yeah. It's Huggy Wuggy Tinwin. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We just read about this where it's like all these like I think it was a report out of Australia actually, where there was like a principal at a primary school that was basically kind of telling all the parents like, you guys need to be, yeah, Poppy Playtime. Yeah, yeah, Poppy Playtime. Thanks, dude. Thanks. Yeah, this principal or whatever they call the principal, you know, in that country for like a primary school. It's like you parents need to be paying attention to what your kids are watching and being exposed to, because these kids are like going around on the playground hugging each other and then whispering in their ears about killing each other and stuff, and it's freaking all the other kids out and everything. So there's like some really weird crap going on, you know. And I mean, yeah, I was kind of memeing out a little bit, but it's also kind of true as well. So I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, unfortunately, kids have to deal with a lot darker stuff than just things they get exposed to in media, such as like what's in Poppy Playtime. It doesn't necessarily mean it's right. Can they handle darker things? Sure. Does it mean that they necessarily should be exposed to darker things? I don't think so. Um, as far as I'm concerned, kids should be allowed to be kids as long as possible and not have to worry about uh, life. And you know, being a kid goes really, really fast. So yeah, here it is right here. This is actually a video game character. Huggy Wuggy triggers warning from parents, uh, from the school for the parents and stuff like that. This is what we read. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, kids are very resilient. Yeah, can they handle darker things? Absolutely. But do they have absolutely lasting impressions? For sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not a matter of them not being able to handle it. It's just a matter of do they necessarily need to be exposed. Dude, I think we can all attest to being probably exposed to some pretty dark stuff in our own respective ways as youngsters. Yeah. Um, and here's what I'll say. I think that depending on the severity and grade of some of that dark stuff, uh, some people are able to make their way out of it okay, and I think some people have issues in life moving forward. So again, kids are resilient. Can they handle an amount of dark things? Yeah. Um, doesn't mean they necessarily need it. We all have to learn to deal with stuff to an extent, right? As we grow up, but at a very young age, you know, I think curtailing the amount of darkness there a bit is probably a play. Well, that's really funny you bring that up. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. It's funny because after having kids too, I've gone back and been like, yo, we need to watch like some of the old school movies we watched with the kids, and my wife's like, do you not remember? She's like, do you not remember what those movies like the content within those? And I'm like, no, they're fine, right? And they're like, my wife's like, no, you need to go back and watch it, and she's right, like yeah, you're absolutely right, Tinwin. Yeah. Well, I think I nailed that yesterday too. I was talking about that yesterday, where it was like, because I think it was actually because of this article they were talking about how Huggy Wuggy is actually only rated PG in Australia, and I was like, you know, most people look at like PG and they go, oh, it's fine for kids, when it actually means parental guidance suggested. You know what I mean? But people would go, oh, PG, yeah, it's fine. Just set a kid in front of it and let them go. Uh, but but yeah, yeah, dude, yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Here's some more Unity stuff. Again, we talked about this yesterday with oh, oh yeah, dude. Yeah, yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, it was, dude. Yeah, it was. I loved RoboCop, dude. Yo, and they're making a new RoboCop game too. We saw that the other day. They're making a new like open world survival um Terminator game, and they're making a new RoboCop game. The new RoboCop game, the trailer looks pretty good. It looks pretty cool. So, yeah, let's go RoboCop, dude. Unity CEO says developers not monetizing games. Um, This probably plays along with what we read yesterday with Unity bringing in, what was it, Iron, why can't I think of the name there? Oh, really? Look at this. We'll read this. We'll read this. We'll read this. I really want to read that now. So they brought in another company to help put in ad space stuff into their games and everything. But it's a software developer that is known for malware content and stuff like that. So they're getting a lot of backlash on it. I'm guessing this has to do with that, and we'll look at it. Oh, no way, yeah. Dead Space is gonna be stressful, dude. I'm ready. I can't wait for October. Actually, I can't wait. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Yeah. My kid. I mean, I'm not even gonna. My kids are a little bit older now, though, right? And my kids have been because my kids dig. Especially my daughter got a bit of my personality when it comes to enjoying like darker content, right? Like scarier horror based stuff, and she enjoys watching Poppy's playtime stuff. She thinks it's pretty cool, and she's been asking me recently like how many of the playthroughs I've done of like horror games that she can watch and stuff like that, and so I'm having to take a look at what I'm cool with her watching and things of that nature. Oh yeah. I'm quite aware, dude, that I'm going to actually freeze up and panic quite a bit during that game. I'm really excited though. I'm really excited for it. Yeah, because I think the difference between like what we played last October and these games is that it's going to be more of an actual anxiety trip all the way through those games for the most part. Whereas like with Alien Isolation, like we talked about, there's a lot of anxiety and buildup through the first part of the game, but then afterwards it was just like, I'm just still running from the xenomorph. You know what I mean? I feel like Dead Space through and through, those games are just going to keep you kind of clinched up. You know what I mean? If you know what I mean, keep you pretty clinched. Oh, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous console release date. Okay. GameStop's releasing their NFT platform. Does anybody actually think that's going to save them? I don't. Yeah, we read about this yesterday. Nintendo has a new animation studio. This is actually really cool. We hit on that already as well. Let's get into these articles. Okay, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous has a console release date. June. Wait, what? Okay, so the release date of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous was June 21st, 2021, but the console release date is going to hit on September 29th of this year, about a year after, a little over a year after the original Pathfinder was released. With how massive Wrath of the Righteous is, it makes sense that there would be a delay, maybe not for a full year, but hopefully this means what the game will launch on consoles without many bugs or glitches. It's an Owlcat game, so that might not be realistic, even with the delayed Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous console release date. But I guess we'll find out in just over 2 months. The second announcement for today is that the third premium Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous DLC, The Treasure of the Midnight Isles, has also received a release date. It's coming on August 11th. So we're like a month away. And we'll have players going to islands scattered across the dark abyssal ocean. Players will be able to explore an archipelago full of treasure in either a standalone roguelike mode or as part of the main campaign, which is an interesting choice. There are also new magic weapons, new potions and scrolls, and new enemies to look forward to. For those not in the know, Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous is a massive tactical RPG set in the Pathfinder universe. It's a follow-up to Pathfinder Kingmaker and likewise adapts an adventure path to video game format. In it, players are tasked with leading a crusade after a rift to the abyss has opened up, unleashing terror across the land. Players must face the demonic hordes and hack and slash their way through them before it's too late. If that sounds intriguing, the game is going to receive a 50% discount as part of the Epic Games Store Summer Sale. If that's not enough, the Mythic Edition and Commander Edition will also receive a 45% discount from today until July 28th. So there you go. That's the news. We've got the new DLC coming in a month. We've got it coming to consoles in 2 months, and it is on sale on PC right now. So if you've been thinking about playing Pathfinder, it might be a good time to start looking into grabbing it or preparing to play it, depending on what platform you want to play it on. See what this new Aliens game is. Aliens is finally getting a new single-player action horror game. Hallelujah! It's not a cooperative shooter. Neither was Isolation. When did Isolation release, though? It's been quite a while. Aliens Fireteam was a decent third-person cooperative shooter, and Aliens Dark Descent looks like a promising top-down cooperative shooter. But both share a critical problem. Neither resemble Alien Isolation, one of the tensest, most terrifying horror games ever made. With the announcement of a new single-player Aliens game today, there's renewed hope, at least by me, that we'll get something a little closer in spirit to that 2014 masterpiece. That's what I thought. I was going to say 2015, but yeah. Simply titled Aliens, this new single-player game, I repeat, single-player for deliberate emphasis, will be developed by Servios, which has a history developing VR games, namely The Walking Dead Onslaught and Sprint Vector. Oh, dude. 2014, 6th October. Thanks, Timwin. Thank you. Could you imagine an Alien Isolation-esque new Alien game in VR? That could be very scary. According to Servios, the Unreal Engine 5 affair will be an intense single-player action horror game set in the iconic Alien universe. Story will be set between the Alien and Aliens films, where a battle-hardened veteran has a vendetta against the Xenomorphs. Given the action in action horror, it's safe to assume this battle-hardened veteran will be armed well, because no one retaliates against Xenomorphs with their mere fists. So we probably shouldn't expect something too close to Alien Isolation, but maybe something closer to Resident Evil or Dead Space or the forthcoming Callisto Protocol. Callisto Protocol looks so much like Dead Space. I mean, appropriately, it's being developed by developers that worked on Dead Space. It looks so much like Dead Space. More info on the game will come during San Diego Comic-Con on July 21st. Confirmed for consoles. There we go. Whew. Sorry, guys. PC and VR, suggesting it'll be playable in both VR and on a regular old screen. As for that other forthcoming Aliens game, Aliens Dark Descent, that's still scheduled to arrive sometime in 2023. It's a top-down, twin-stick shooter cooperative game, which you do you, 20th Century Games, but it's time to make a scary Aliens game again. Horror game quality isn't based on gimmicks, it's based on execution. Yeah. No, I agree. I just mean, I think that having that first-person perspective of VR in a game that's done very well can incorporate a new dynamic into a horror game that can incredibly increase the amount of intensity that you get from a horror title if it's done well. That's what I'm getting at. So, is it a necessity? No. But I think that as we evolve with technology and VR is incorporated more in games and developers get better at making VR and it becomes a more fluid part of what gaming can incorporate, it feels better. It will add to the horror game experience, I think. Yeah. Is it necessary? No. Horror games can be done very well in a lot of different ways. But I think VR, I mean, ultimately the big thing behind VR is the immersiveness of it, right? So putting you in the shoes of the character and everything, I think can, if done right, add to the intensity of what a horror game can offer. But this is cool, man. Here we go. New Alien game. Well, the thing that will be different, obviously, that they talked about is that this will be an action combat-based horror game instead of what Alien Isolation was for the most part, which was just trying to escape, right? Hide and seek, basically, is what it was. So we'll see how they play off of it. The hope here is that they do it in, for me anyways, the hope is that they do it in a way that is very much along the lines of what you've come to know regarding the interaction between humans fighting xenomorphs. It's hard to take down a xenomorph, right? I don't want this to be a situation where it's like necessarily like an entirely easy slaughter fest or anything, So we'll see what they come up with. New PlayStation Rewards program can give you money for playing games and getting trophies. God, their controllers are so slick looking. I really love the way their controllers look. For years, the thrill of nabbing a platinum trophy on PlayStation has been motivated by one thing: bragging rights. Later this year, once PlayStation rolls out its new loyalty program, you'll actually reap tangible benefits. Kind of. Called PlayStation Stars, it'll be a free membership that allows you to earn points by playing games. You can earn them by logging into your PS4 or PS5 once per month. You can earn them by successfully completing specific trophies. You can also earn them by completing challenges, winning a tournament, for instance, or being the first person in your time zone to earn a platinum trophy. Awarded for checking off all the other trophies affiliated with a game for a major blockbuster. Sony will release the highly anticipated God of War Ragnarok for PS4 and PS5 in November. If you're signed up for PlayStation Plus, Sony's recently revamped subscription service that features a games on-demand library at higher price tiers, you'll earn points automatically for purchases you make in the PlayStation Store. The Nintendo eShop currently has a similar perk. PlayStation hasn't yet detailed the rate at which you'll earn points for PlayStation Stars activities, or how many points you'll need to actually redeem for any rewards. History doesn't exactly point to a fast rate here. As of 2017, the Sony Rewards program has started rewarding you for successful completion of trophies, but the math worked out to like pennies. A PlayStation representative told Kotaku that PlayStation Stars will not replace Sony Rewards. PlayStation Stars is a separate program, the rep said. Then there's this, lifted word for word from the official announcement. Also, as part of PlayStation Stars, we are unveiling a new type of reward called digital collectibles. Collectibles are diverse as our portfolio of products and franchises. They're digital representations of things that PlayStation fans enjoy, including figurines of beloved and iconic characters from games and other forms of entertainment, as well as cherished devices that tap into Sony's history of innovation. There will always be a new collectible to earn, an ultra rare collectible to strive for, or something surprising to collect just for fun. You're not the only person who had their NFT tripwire activated. Yes. Though Sony swears PlayStation Stars has nothing to do with controversial trend, when asked in an interview with The Washington Post, Sony VP Grace Chen repeated the phrase "definitely not" in 3 separate instances over the course of 4 sentences. It's definitely not NFTs, Chen said. emphasis Kotaku's. Definitely not. You can't trade them or sell them. It is not leveraging any blockchain technologies, and definitely not NFTs. One more time, and I'll believe you. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. Okay. We'll see. This is what I always worry about. It's super easy for companies to go, it won't be this. It won't be this. We're not doing this. And then they'll release things, and a month later, they'll change it into being what everybody was concerned about in the first place. And they'll go, well, we didn't lie. It never was meant to be that in the first place, you know? And this was just a decision we made after release because it made sense for us in as a business move. And it's like, you guys are full of crap. You knew what you were doing the whole time. You just didn't want to get bad publicity in the beginning of this. So you worked it in a way where you could say that it's not going to be NFTs. It's not going to be NFTs. It's not going to be NFTs. And then after the release, you change it all to be NFTs. You know, I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but this has been done before, right? Nintendo reassures fans more N64 games will be added to Switch Online. Nintendo last week surprised Switch Online expansion pack subscribers with the announcement of Pokemon Puzzle League, but we are now at a point where we don't know what's coming next. Even Japan's lineup has now been completed with the release of the first 2 custom Robo games. Yeah, we read about that. This has got some fans wondering how much longer Nintendo will continue to support the N64 expansion pack library. Fortunately, there's no need to panic. The company today issued a message via social media reassuring fans it will continue to deliver N64 games. So there you have it. Expect more N64 games. Miso, what's up, my friend? You lurk away, buddy. It's good to have you. Expect more N64 games in the future. At the pace Nintendo is currently releasing N64 games at, we can probably expect to see at least one more game added to the N64 library per month. Could also continue to be regional variants in the future, a bit like this week's lot of releases. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So they are committed to continuing to release the N64 games on Switch Online. We'll see what comes next. This is actually pretty wild and very cool. A super fan collected every Super Nintendo game manual and made them free. This is really neat. Video game consoles have come a long way since the Super Nintendo arrived in the US in 1991 and launched a new gen of gamers, but sometimes there is no beating the classics. Console was widely popular with more than 700 games released for the system in the US, and Carrie Hayes has been working on beating every single one. We had wondered some of these games. Had anyone ever beaten them before? They were so weird and obscure or difficult, he said. And so Hayes turned to the manuals. For those who weren't playing a lot of video games in the 90s, almost all of them came with a manual inside the case that had lots of helpful information. Yeah, the manual was where you would find the buttons to push and how the console works. It would also include your lore, backstory, and maybe even a map. You know, if you guys don't remember, earlier this year, I think it was around March, we actually, dude, what was it? Like the 25th year anniversary of Doom or something? No. I don't know if it was an anniversary of Doom or, but there was the manual that came along with the Nintendo version of Doom, actually said for the setting within the manual that the game of Doom was supposed to be set in the year or on the date of like March 15th or 22nd or something like that of the year 2022. So we literally passed the actual date that Doom was set to happen. It was pretty funny. The manual will show the literal buttons to push on the controller for each game. If you're really lucky, you get a little bit of a walkthrough that would tell you like the first 10% of the game. Modern games typically have an intro cutscene and a tutorial within the first hour of the game, but older games didn't have the time or the space to include those, hence the manuals. Nowadays, though, a vintage game complete with a paper manual can be hard to come by, which is why Hayes collected copies of every single Super Nintendo manual in the English language. Collection is hosted on the Internet Archive and contains upwards of 850 unique Super Nintendo manuals, and it's all free. Hayes says he's not in it for the money. That's awesome, man. Preservation to me is everybody has access to this stuff when they want it and where they want it, he said. It would be lovely to get paid, a standard paycheck for this. That's just not what it's about. Luke Plunkett covers gaming for Kotaku. He wrote about Hayes' mission to collect every manual back in October of 2020, and again when every English language manual was finally archived this July. He said it was the crowdsourcing aspect of Hayes' project that caught his eye. Hayes said he started his collection with about 650 scans, then turned to the internet to see what strangers could offer. Then Plunkett's write-up in the Kotaku had even more people sending in submissions. That's awesome. There can be a ton of people who are like, hey, I've got an old Super Nintendo game manual lying around, or, oh, I've got some old Super Nintendo games at my parents' house. I'll go see if any of the games they need are there, Plunkett said. And if this wasn't enough, Hayes isn't done yet. Everybody keeps asking me, hey, are you going to do this system? And how are you going to do that system? And I'm like, no, I think we're going to do all systems because why not? The myth of Sisyphus comes to mind, just pushing the boulder up the hill. But Hayes says, it's a fun boulder, though. It's a fun boulder, and you meet all sorts of interesting people all over the world. That's really, really cool. And good on that. Yeah, I mean, look, the conservation of video game history is very, very important to me. I know it's very important to a lot of other people, too, that are there's so many people that are so passionate about the video game industry. And one of the things that's really tough right now is that we're in this really weird, situation with many other forms of media and entertainment have been preserved through their content has been preserved through moving towards totally being digital or other forms of media and stuff like that, right? Where not all video games have made it that way. And it's kind of a wild thing. And some of these companies are making it hard. And but I do feel it's very, very important that we maintain preserving and where we started as lovers of video games, where all that came from, and not just as lovers of video games, but developers of video games as well. Knowing how all this started and being able to build over the years of a lot of these games that were so defining for the industry and being able to have that history and conserve it is very, very important, I think, overall. So this is just another example of somebody doing amazing things in that area. So cool. Latest bundle, $200 plus of Lego games for $10. Bundle includes games like Lego Jurassic World and Lego DC Supervillains, along with many others. It's humble. That's what I was kind of thinking. There are a lot of Lego video games. Too many, some might say, but thankfully most of them are fun to play and great to enjoy with younger family members. Today you can score a bunch of them on the latest Humble Bundle for a modest $10. Humble Bundle's website estimates the value of today's pile of virtual minifigs at a little over $200, and all of the games in the collection are based on movies or comics. $10 or more if you want to donate is the magic number that gets you all 9 games in the bundle, which is Lego Movie video game, Lego Movie 2 video game, The Incredibles, Marvel Superheroes, Avengers, Superheroes 2, Marvel Superheroes 2, DC Supervillains, Lego Ninjago Movie video game, and Jurassic World. Something to note is that these are the Steam versions of the games, so you'll need a gaming PC and Steam account to take advantage of this bundle, or a Steam Deck, which ends in 15 days on July 29th. As with other Humble Bundles, you can pay less than $10 to get fewer games. In this case, if you spend $8, you'll still get 5 games, including all of the Lego Marvel games and Lego Jurassic World. If you pay just a single dollar, you get Lego Movie Video Game and Lego's Marvel Superheroes. Buying this bundle helps support Active Minds, a nonprofit charity group that works to provide mental health support to young people between the ages of 14 and 24, and is focused on changing the culture around mental health, pushing to make it easier for folks to talk about these important issues and to get the help they need. A worthwhile charity, plus you get some great Lego games for donating to it. A rare win-win situation. Don't get many of those in 2022. Yeah, that's great. Active Minds. So this is the bundle. Okay, I'm gonna link this in chat. This is the bundle right here. $10 gets you everything. You can donate more. Again, you can donate as much as you want, but $10 minimum will get you every single one of the Lego games right here. All 9 of these, right? And I just linked that in chat. And it supports Active Minds. Okay? If you want to know more about Active Minds, I'm going to link this in chat as well. Good stuff. Good stuff. No one should have to struggle alone. Awesome. Good stuff. Is this just a US based? I'm guessing. It looks like it. Yeah. US. Nation's premier nonprofit organization supporting mental health awareness and education for young adults. Yeah. We are dedicated to saving lives and to building stronger families and communities through education, research, advocacy, and a focus on young adults aged 14 to 25. Active Minds is opening up the conversation about mental health and creating lasting change in the way mental health is talked about, cared for, and valued in the U.S. So there you go. 19 years of impact, an approach that works. Values: be radically authentic, empower the community, pursue smart, bold innovation, inspire equitable and justice-driven action. Anti-racism and inclusion action plan. Cool. Looks like a good organization. It's right there in chat if you want to look into them more. Lots of details there. Unity CEO says developers not monetizing games early are flippin' idiots. Richitelio claims his words were taken out of context. Oh man, here we go. Unity CEO John Richitelio, I might be butchering that, has said the game creators who do not implement monetization earlier in the development process are idiots. An interview with PocketGamer.biz, I'm just going to call him John. Or maybe we should call him Richard instead. I think Richard would be an appropriate name for this individual, especially since his last name is Richitelio. We'll call him Richard. He sounds like a Richard. If you catch my drift. In an interview with PocketGamer.biz, Richard was asked to address why some developers are reluctant to monetize their game earlier in the process. Ferrari and some of the other high-end car manufacturers still use clay and carving knives, answered Richard. It's a very small portion of the gaming industry that works that way. And some of these people are my favorite people in the world to fight with. They're the most beautiful and pure, brilliant people. They're also some of the biggest idiots. Richard, EA's former CEO. Say no more. Yeah. Say no more. Went on to explain that games industry has changed significantly over the years. It used to be the case that developers would throw their game over the wall to the publicist and sales force with literally no interaction beforehand. But this industry divides people between those who still hold to that philosophy and those who massively embrace how to figure out what makes a successful product. You mean what sucks as much money out of the consumer as possible, right? while you still just provide a crap product? Is that, I mean, that's what you're getting at, right? Today, Richard tweeted that his words have been taken out of context and added that he was deeply sorry if what I said offended any game dev. However, the CEO's comments have already been criticized from developers across the games industry. Good, get wrecked. John Richard thinks I'm an idiot. Tweeted if found developer Brogan Hackett. I think he's a little greedy capitalist pig who only cares about money. I'm so tired of people like him ruining things I love. Well said. Well said. Actually, where's that tweet? I'll like that tweet. Let's go. Nice. While John Richard is still Unity CEO, our plans to finish our current Unity projects and then migrate to Unreal Engine. Wait. While Richard is still Unity CEO, our plan is to finish our current Unity projects and then migrate to Unreal Engine. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, okay. I was just like brain farting there for a second. Yeah, this week Unity announced a merger between Iron Source with themselves and Iron Source. We talked about this earlier, and we hit on it yesterday as well. If you want a more comprehensive look, detailed look at what we hit on, look at yesterday's news segment. But basically, it helps their users monetize their apps, right? But the merger has come under fire due to Iron Source's development of malware, right? So Unity has gotten into a collaboration with Iron Source, apparently in order to help monetize their apps, right? But Iron Source is notorious for malware in their software. So they were already getting blasted, and now old Richard here is just making the problem even worse for Unity. Good job, Richard. Xbox Game Pass adds 5 new games today, including 2 day one releases. Microsoft's Xbox Game Pass subscription service updates its library to add 5 more games, including 2 day one releases. From July 14th, Xbox Game Pass subscribers across the cloud, consoles, and PC can check out Escape Academy, My Friend Peppa Pig, Paw Patrol the Movie, Adventure City Calls, and Power Wash Simulator, while PC Game Pass subscribers have exclusive access to Overwhelm. Out of these games, the 2 standouts are Escape Academy and Power Wash Simulator, as they are both day one releases. Escape Academy is a co-op game where players can work together to solve puzzles and complete escape rooms. Power Wash Simulator, meanwhile, is exactly as its name implies, a simulation game where players can clean objects with a power washer. I don't understand the a lot of the simulation games, I just don't get it, dude. These strange simulation games are a dime a dozen, but Power Wash Simulator is one of the better received ones currently on the market. So Game Pass subscribers, is it like a therapeutic thing? Is that what it is with the simulation games? Is it just, do people find it therapeutic? That's the only thing I can figure. So on July 15th, Game Pass will be losing 5 games in the form of Atomicrops, Carrion, Children of Morta, Chris Tells, and Lethal League Blaze. Anyone interested in those games should be sure to check them out while they still can. Looking ahead, there are more new Xbox Game Pass titles to look forward to in the next couple of weeks. Day one game As Dusk Falls is launching on July 19th, and it will be joined by various other titles that have yet to be revealed. More information on Microsoft's plans for Xbox Game Pass in the second half of July 2022 should be revealed sooner rather than later, so fans should keep an eye out for an announcement. Yo, Fat Pat, what's up, buddy? Yo, I could destroy some barbecue this morning, by the way. Let's be honest, I could destroy some barbecue at any time. How are you, dude? Dark. Ooh, let's go, dude. I haven't had some ribs in a while, man. I love some ribs too. Yeah. Yeah. I'm doing good, buddy. Thanks for asking. It's good to see you, man. Good to see you. Oh, Dark Souls lore book looks like a collector's dream. The 2-volume book will set you back $180. Dude, that's a lot of ribs. Dark Souls is getting one heck of a fancy lore compendium next year. Earlier this week, Toon and Fairweather listed the Abyssal Archive for release early next year in 2023. Package boasts 2 complete volumes compiling all the in-game lore from the original Dark Souls, painting one cohesive picture of the entire in-game world and its stories. And you can see the entire collection just below in all its glory. They're going to make a lot of money off this. The publisher's listing boasts the new collection in the, quote, most comprehensive analysis of the games of Mythos ever undertaken. It's all in celebration of the 10th anniversary of the original Dark Souls, and the dedicated following from Software's modern classic has accrued ever since launch. Oh, and you'll get this fantastic map seen just below with any edition of the Abyssal Archive. Drawn by artist Judson Cohen, the full map of Lordaeron paints a complete picture of Dark Souls' intricate in-game world, although it probably won't help you navigate the actual game world should you get a little lost. Should you get lost. If you've never played those games, you're probably going to get lost. Now for the bad news. This won't come cheap. Just the standard version of the Abyssal Archive retails for roughly $180 when translated from the original Euro cost, but publisher Toon and Fairweather has actually confirmed with Games Radar that they will be shipping the product overseas to U.S. customers. As for the other versions, there's the limited edition, which costs roughly $250 and contains a special presentation box with a bookmark. There's also a $500 benefactor edition, which actually gets your name into the acknowledgments section of the Abyssal Archive. All right, there you go, guys. There you go. If you're interested, I'll throw it in chat. There you go. For all you Soulsborne fanatics. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Fat Pat. And then for an extra $250, you can have your name put in the book. You know, it should say paid $250 extra. All these people paid $250 extra. Oh man, crazy. I think I snorted there a little bit. I can't, I can't, dude. It's wild. And people, the thing that's crazy about it is that there will be a lot of people that buy into that. You know what I mean? Be like on a date. "Look, I even got my name in the back of it. Yeah. I'm famous. Destiny 2's new Solstice armor sets feature a streamlined upgrade system. Destiny 2 Solstice event returns on July 19th, and like previous years, there will be some shiny new gear to obtain. One big difference this year is that upgrading the armor sets will be done in a new way as Bungie has streamlined the process. When is the Bungie acquisition by Sony supposed to be finalized? I haven't heard anything about that in a while. As a matter of fact, the last thing I had heard about any of it was, you know, had to do with Bungie being very vocal about the Roe versus Wade stuff and basically saying Sony won't shut us up. But as far as the actual date of that coming to fruition, I haven't heard anything here lately. As detailed in this week's Bungie blog post, armor upgrading is focused on actively improving the gear through the new player actions and incentivizing players to chase armor rolls for the duration of Solstice. This in turn will allow players to craft armor that suits their needs by creating stat-specific builds that can shine in specific activities such as Gambit, Nightfall Strikes, and the Crucible. That looks really cool. Looks good. Upgrades will require players to collect silver leaves, a new currency earned by completing activities throughout the game. Silver leaves can then be turned into silver ash by completing the new activity Bonfire Bash before being used to reroll armor stats from the armor mod screen. Another currency that can be collected is kindling, which is required by completing solstice event challenges. You'll be able to spend kindling to upgrade your armor stat roll potential. With each piece of armor can be upgraded 3 times. This only needs to be done once per slot. Each time you upgrade a piece of solstice armor, it is permanent and shared across all pieces for that slot. What this means is that if you upgrade a helmet up to tier 3, then every solstice helmet currently in your inventory and any future helmets you earn for that class will have access to tier 3 stat rolls. Rerolls. Oh, that's cool. As for the armor, this year's sets feature both free and paid glow effects like in previous years. Fully upgrade your armor and it will have a healthy glow, and you'll earn the chance at a high stat roll focusing on a stat of your choice. For more on this year's Solstice, you can also check out how the event card has changed, which Bungie describes as a new way to engage in the event. Before Solstice begins, you can check it back in tomorrow to see where Xur is, although that won't be a Trials... Although there won't be a Trials of Osiris event due to this week's Iron Banner PvP tournament. Okay, for you Destiny fans, there you go. There you go. Put that in chat right there for you guys if you want to take a look at any additional information that might be linked within that article, okay? Let's discuss this a bit. So, this article is titled, "You Be the Judge, Should I Let My Boyfriend Have 3 Game Consoles?" I'm going to stop before I read any of this and say, this is your boyfriend. And how can you say, should I let my boyfriend have 3 games consoles? Especially if this is just your boyfriend. If your boyfriend wants to have 3 game consoles and significant other, let's just go with significant other. If you're a significant other and you are not in some kind of like long-term relationship or marriage or what have you, and this was their own money that they made to spend on, you should have no say in whether or not they get to have 3 gaming consoles or not. I'm just going to be real upfront right now about that. She thinks it's ridiculous to own so many devices. He can't see why she wants to stop his fun. You decide if the game is up. When Max and I moved into our flat together 2 years ago, he brought 2 game consoles. I said, this is a bit weird. Why do you need an Xbox One and an Xbox 3? My daughter's laughing at me right now. Max should have gotten rid of this individual a long time ago. What? Wait. Are we going to have space? He said he needed both, as some of his games can only be played on one of the consoles. We don't have much room in our small flat. We have a TV stand with 3 rectangular dividers the size of a DVD box. I said, fine, we could fit his 2 consoles there. Reflection after they signed the lease. Yeah. Yeah. The 3rd divider holds our Wi-Fi router. I didn't want to stop his gaming. I actually quite like joining in sometimes. Now this is one of the things that automatically comes to mind. So the only thing being brought up here is Max's gaming stuff. But what about anything on her side of the house here, right? We're talking about like consoles. She's making a big deal about these little consoles taking up too much space or whatever. You know what I mean? There's always ways to be more efficient with, I mean, get a shelf or something, dude. I don't know. But and maybe not, but who knows? Maybe this other individual is a shoe collector or something. You know what I mean? It's like you're taking up both closets with all your shoes. You know what I mean? I can't have two consoles. I'm just saying the only thing being addressed here is two consoles. Then I realized the only reason he was keeping his Xbox 360 was to play one game, Guitar Hero. I mean, it could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be anything. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I mean, it could be anything, but that's why I mean I'm trying to make sure we're looking at this from different perspectives here than just the way it's presented within the article, right? Obviously, it's easy for us to look at this as game lovers ourselves and go, "Dumper!" You know, if you're keeping this console just for one game, you'd better play it. Wait. I realized the only reason he was keeping the Xbox 360 was to play one game, Guitar Hero. I love Guitar Hero. It's a classic, but I told Max, if you're keeping this console just for one game, you'd better play it. And in the 2 years we've lived together, he has only played it twice. It is even more annoying because the game comes with guitar-like controllers we have to store in our cupboard. Now Max wants a third console, a PS5, or new Xbox. I can't even remember. But where will it live? Max suggested keeping it on the floor, but I don't want the flat looking messy, or like one big gaming room. I also think it is ridiculous to own 3 consoles. It's so indulgent. We have reached deadlock. I said, you don't play the old 360 enough to justify getting another. But then Max got funny about chucking it out. He is a bit of a hoarder. Whenever I suggest having a clear out, he stops me and says we can find a home for something and we might need it again. I think threatening to throw out his 360 is tapping into his anxiety. Yeah, mine too. But I don't even like Xbox stuff. I'm already being lenient by allowing 2 consoles. In my mind, the only way to make space for a new one is to throw an old one out, especially since he has only used one of them twice in 2 years. Finally, Max needs to make sure he justifies the price of a new console by choosing games he will play regularly. Otherwise, I'm putting my foot down. The defense. Okay, here's the defense. Max. Okay, sorry. So Max's defense. Bryony says we don't need 3 consoles, but how much space does a console really? Bryony? That's a different kind of name. They are only small. They can fit in anywhere, and we have a TV stand with slots. Besides, certain games are only available on certain consoles, so it makes sense to keep them all. Bryony. Yeah. Briony? Is that what it is? Briony? I've never seen that name before. Briony. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna go with Bry or Bree. We'll go with Bry because it's a Y. We'll go with Bry. We'll keep it short. I have the Xbox 360, which is about 10 years old, and the Xbox One, which is a bit newer. All of these new gen consoles are coming out, and I'd like to keep up with the latest trends. And of course, I'll keep the ones I have. Xbox 360 games are great. Guitar Hero 3, Legends of Rock, and a few others only work on this console. Why would I throw them all away? Before I moved in with Bry, I had the 360 in my bedroom and the Xbox One downstairs. My flatmates and I played on that together. It was good to have 2 in a shared flat. If someone wanted to watch downstairs, yeah. Now it's just Brian and me. We keep both consoles in the living room. She says there isn't space for a third, but I disagree. Our place is always tidy, but Bri is obsessed with decluttering. I don't think we have that much stuff to begin with. I've always lived in big shared houses, and every time I've moved, I've brought the same belongings with me. I'm not used to analyzing every item and chucking stuff out. Maybe I'm lazy. Bri used to say, why would you bother keeping this about a book or old jumper? But I like holding on to things for sentimental reasons. Bri and I play games together now and again, but she doesn't think I can justify getting a third console because I don't have the time. She's probably right, but even if I haven't touched the old Xbox for years, it is worth holding on to. What if I want to play it on a whim someday? It brings me so much joy. Who cares how often I play it? Besides, we're planning to move soon, and I intend to find space for that third console. So here's my thought. I'm not even going to look at comments. This is my thought. If in 2 years the 360 has only been played twice, and it's causing a bit of conflict within the relationship, find a way to store it. Come to some kind of like middle ground there. Dude, I have my regular Nintendo, I have a Super Nintendo, I have a PlayStation 1, I have a PlayStation 2, I have an Xbox original. What else do I have? I've got my original Game Boy. I've got PS3. I've got all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? We've got Switch. I've got a ton of old consoles. Most of mine are packed up and in storage right now because we don't have a whole lot of space. Could I tell you the last time I got one of those out and played it? No. Am I ever going to get rid of it? No. At some point, I mean, I have a capture card now. And now that I'm streaming, there's definitely going to be the potential for me to pull some of those out and hook them up so we can maybe play some old games. I will never get rid of my old consoles. If I actually am in my sound mind and have a choice, I will never get rid of those. Dude, that feels so bad. I don't have all of my old stuff. I was lucky enough to get away with a lot of it, but I don't have everything. I didn't make it away with because I left home. I left all my stuff back home, and I left home in my early 20s. When I was like 21. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if something happened where no. And that's another thing. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I have a partner in life. My wife understands my passion and is okay with it. She collects books. I collect video game stuff. That's what it is, right? I would never tell her to get rid of her books. Ever. You know what I mean? I just wouldn't. She has a large collection of books. And I'm not a book reader. But I understand how much she loves those books. And I continue to buy her more books because I know how much she loves books. And she continues to buy me more video game stuff because she knows how much I love video games. That's what I think it's about, right? Random mode time, by the way. Try to get your free sub in. But at the same time, am I trying to hook up all my old consoles all at once when we don't have space for them right now? No, not at all. Most of mine are packed up very nice and secure in a climate-controlled storage. But yeah, I'm missing some of my old stuff, Fat Pat. Like, I didn't make it away with my old Pokemon Red on Game Boy. My gold cartridge, Legend of Zelda, is gone. Because after I left, my siblings were still around. Some things just got lost along the way with some of their kids and stuff, I think. I don't know. Because again, kudos to my parents held on to a lot of stuff. And I got away with I finally got a lot of my stuff years after I had left home. And if it wasn't for my parents hanging on to most of it, I wouldn't have it. A good amount of it anyways. So, glass is half full. I definitely have things that I need to go try to recoup as far as games and things like that are very important to me from my youth, nostalgic kind of cartridges and stuff like that I don't have anymore that I would like to go find copies of and stuff like that. But I don't necessarily have space for a whole lot of collecting things right now. But as far as this is concerned, like 2 years playing a console that might be causing like the 360 and the Guitar Hero controllers and stuff, if they are causing a bit of turmoil between the relationship because they're not hardly ever getting played. And this is my point of view coming from the gamer in this relationship. If you could potentially go, let's come to, oh, got pizza posted on Discord? I'm going to take a look very soon. I'm hungry. If we can come to some kind of, give and take here, right? Let's do a little bit of give and take. I don't want to get rid of the console because it means something to me, right? Like, express that. I don't want to get rid of this console because it means something to me. I love this console, right? It means something to me. So I don't want to get rid of it, but we don't have to have it hooked up all the time. Maybe can we put it in storage somewhere or put it up somewhere to where it's not out here in the, causing clutterness out by the TV and everything, and maybe replace it with a new console? Would that work? You know what I mean? Come to a little bit of some kind of, agreement, as it were. A little bit of give and take. Yeah. That's what I would say. Does it feel like, I feel like what it seems like in this situation here is maybe this is really her trying to shine a light on a real small. She has an issue with something that I don't feel like should really be an issue, to be honest. Flash speed. I don't remember those, dude. I don't remember those. Yeah, I mean, and at the same time, like, we're not addressing anything that she might be a hoarder of. I mean, she sounds, or the other person in this relationship sounds like a very organized, non-hoarder, kind of individual that likes to maintain, a very clean, decluttered kind of living environment, which is good. But who knows, And maybe we're just not bringing up any kind of situation. Could be. Could be. Yeah, it could be an option. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, that aren't, I mean, I know a lot of us that are for me, that's the way I feel about it, because I don't like getting rid of my stuff. So it's hard for me to read something like this and go, yeah, you should talk about getting rid of it. Because I'm like, no, don't get rid of it. You know what I mean? Yo, thanks, Tim, and I'll look at it. Like, it gives me anxiety, dude, talking about getting rid of any kind of like gaming console. You know what I mean? But I know not everybody feels that way, so yeah, that's the potential as well, Fat Pat, for sure. Yeah, but I feel like it's a little bit extreme here on the part of the individual trying to go, three consoles, too many consoles. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, maybe maybe having a console out there, an older console that has only been played twice in 2 years, pack it away somewhere. That way, if you ever get the hankering to play that game, then you can pull the console out. It wouldn't be a huge deal or whatever, I don't know. It seems a bit extreme, but and maybe that's the play. Maybe that's the way a lot of people see it as well. Is that if it's only been played twice in 2 years, it's not really something needed to hold on to. For me, it's tough because of the way that I feel about my games, my gaming tech. Getting rid of that stuff is not an option, man. It just isn't. It's just not, man. When the husband has a PS4 trying to trick his wife. Oh, yeah, dude, I remember that one. Yeah. That's actually a great watch right there. Yeah. That link that Timwin just posted in chat, if you haven't watched that, that is a really, really funny video. That's really funny. Yeah. There's actually some other spin-offs of that and everything too, right? Pretty sure we've watched some of those. So, I don't know. There are different takes on this. Different takes. Not really news, but it's different. I like seeing different people's takes on what that situation has to offer. All right, this is the last article I have for the morning. If you guys have anything else to add to the news segment that I might not be aware of or that we haven't covered over the past news segments or today, please let me know and I'll address before we close off July 15th news segment and move on to Witcher Day 9. Cool. Final Fantasy 16 ditched turn-based combat to appeal to younger generations, producer says. Quote, I thought about the expected sales of Final Fantasy 16 and the impact that we have to deliver, Yoshida says. Speaking in the latest issue of Famitsu, translated for VGC by contributor Robert Sefison, the developer said that the team had to reassess the audience Final Fantasy was appealing to. I'm from a generation that grew up with command and turn-based RPGs, Yoshida said. I think I understand how interesting and immersive it can be. On the other hand, for the past decade or so, I've seen quite a number of opinions saying I don't understand the attraction of selecting commands in video games. This opinion is only increasing, particularly with younger audiences who do not typically play RPGs. Yoshida went on to explain. We good? I just saw OBS kind of glitch out there. Yoshida went on to explain that he believes the evolution in console technology has pushed RPGs toward action-based mechanics rather than turn-based. For several console generations now, all character expressions can be done in real time. Actions such as press the trigger and your character will shoot a gun, and press the button and your character will swing their sword, can now be easily expressed without going through a command system. It's now common for gamers younger than me to love such games. As a result, it seems that it does not make sense to go through a command prompt such as battle to make a decision during a battle. This is not an argument of what is good or bad, but there is a difference based on players' preferences and age. Furthermore, there is a big difference between a command system and a turn-based system, and these are often conflated but are two different concepts. He added RPGs originated with tabletop RPGs, and I think that gaming RPGs were invented to replace the tabletop discussions with commands in video games. As I said, I believe I know the fun of command system RPGs, and I want to continue developing them. But I thought about the expected sales of Final Fantasy 16 and the impact that we have to deliver. Quote, at times, I said that it was okay if the development team would explore new options, and the system would be only half finished, as a result, it would be remade many times. It's the same feeling as not utilizing an open world. If you have a good idea, you should approach it, but if you feel differently and think it's better not to have a command system instead, I don't mind. From this, I think it is definitely possible that the next Final Fantasy may also utilize a command system again, or be an open world game. However, at this point, if we were to develop it, Final Fantasy 16 will be like this. Elsewhere in the interview, Yoshida claimed that an open world version of Final Fantasy 16 would take 15 years to make. There are going to be varying takes on this, and it's going to have to do with exposure to Final Fantasy games and RPGs in general, potentially regarding how you've grown up with RPGs, for sure. Final Fantasy has done different things with their series, with the IP, over the years. Obviously, I mean, it started off completely command-based, and those are the games I fell in love with. Final Fantasy 1, 2, 3, those games. I mean, 7, all of that. 10, all those games were all command. It was all command-based. But the more recent games have definitely pivoted to being more action-based. It was like a hybrid almost. They kind of turned into like a hybrid-based action command type style of RPG. Yeah. And I mean, I have to say that the kid gamer in me, the kid RPG lover that I am, I will always have a part of me that absolutely loves turn-based RPGs because that is nostalgia for me. That is what I grew up playing and loving. Now, I mean, there were still RPGs I played that to an extent were action-based, like Legend of Zelda, stuff like that. But many of the RPGs from back in my youth were very turn-based. And so I will continue to try to advocate for them to not be totally dropped. I think there's still a large market for turn-based. To say that turn-based RPGs are, I guess, basically the way that this article makes it read is like turn-based RPGs are only like a boomer thing, I guess. You know what I mean? Like younger audiences only want action-based stuff. I don't know that I agree with that. I think it depends on the way you develop things. I think it really depends on the way you develop a game. So I don't know. Is a more faster paced action style combat system probably going to appeal more to a younger audience? Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. But it doesn't mean that a younger audience won't also enjoy turn-based stuff. We grew up on it, man. We loved it. Why does that mean that today's generation of kids just won't play turn-based stuff? I don't know that I agree with that. So obviously they think that Final Fantasy needs to turn away from any kind of turn-based stuff and just be totally action-based. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how. I think there are going to be a lot of traditionalists for Final Fantasy that go, that feels kind of bad. I'm more just open to see what comes of it, I guess. I just don't want to see action or turn-based games die. That's all. I still love turn-based games, so I just don't want to see turn-based RPGs die out. That's my only thing. I love action-based games. I love action-based RPGs. I get a kick out of them. They're a lot of fun, but I love turn-based as well. And I don't want to see them die out because developers think that there's no market for them anymore. I very much disagree with that. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what Final Fantasy continues to bring to the table. Again, they've kind of been pivoting away from the old school turn-based stuff for a while, doing hybrid things and where it's a mix of turn-based and action-based stuff for the later iterations of their games, the latest iterations of their games. So I'm not surprised to see this come, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. That's all I have, guys. That's all I've got for today. So we'll be moving on to The Witcher 3, Day 9. Thanks to Tinwin. Dude, 11 months. 11 months, man. Incredible. Yo, you're about to get a tentacle, man. You're about to get your first tentacle on the OA icon, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. So thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. To everybody else that is just hearing a part, or everybody, including Tinlin, just being a part of what we do here and this amazing community. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. And everybody that was part of today's news segment, thank you very much. We will be moving on to The Witcher. But if you're viewing this content on YouTube and you're enjoying it, then please consider hitting that like and subscribe button and potentially leave me a comment so we can have some discussion regarding any of these topics that we went over today. Also, see what you can do about coming and hanging out with us at 6 o'clock a.m. CST every single day, where we start off every stream with video gaming news before we hop into our gaming content, okay? Other than that, everybody just stay healthy, stay safe, be kind to one another. We'll catch everybody tomorrow for July 16th edition of Video Gaming News. All right?